Hey guys, what's up? So, stories and entertainment, movies and video games and books to some degree kind of skew people's perspective on how things work and how life works. They kind of distort um, how you see things because a lot of the things in stories and video games and all the stuff, movies and TV shows they're there to serve a story or an aesthetic or whatever, but not necessarily to perfectly mirror or represent real life. When I was a kid, I I kind of trusted that like my parents knew enough about life to keep me safe and teach me. I think it's kind of a I think it's kind of an inborn thing for kids, like maybe uh, evolutionarily, where kids have this kind of trust with their parents that they're supposed to know everything. Not necessarily everything, really, but I mean, obviously, they can't know everything and they can't know, like, all of the specialized things, but they're supposed to know enough about life to teach you and keep you safe. So they're supposed to know about cooking and driving and um, relationships and life stuff. And when I became an adult, I started to realize that the idea of what and the idea that I had of what an adult was doesn't really exist. Um, I turned 18 and I realized that I was really no different than I was when I was 17 or 16 or 15. I had a little bit more life experience. I might have grown a little bit bigger, but I was really kind of still the same person. And now that I'm 35, it's kind of the same way. Like, I'm really no different than I was when I was five, like 30 years ago. I'm just bigger and I know more and I have more life experience, but I'm basically the same person though. I still think pretty much the same way. I still have roughly the same personality and everything. But nothing magical happened when I turned 18 to make me an adult. And I realized that I didn't know all of the stuff that I expected my parents to know when they were raising me. It's funny to me that, like, the age 18, that's when we say that a person is an adult, but it's kind of arbitrary because your brain's not developed yet, and it's not going to be for years. And you could probably physically have kids since you were like 12 or something. But when I was a kid, I thought that my parents were supposed to know, you know, everything important, you know. They were supposed to be good at stuff and have a good grasp on life. And I trusted the other adults too. Like, I watched a lot of movies and TV shows and played a lot of video games as a kid. And I always just kind of trusted that the writers and directors and producers of the movies and TV shows that I watched, I always just kind of trusted that they had done their research and that they were careful to make sure that the props and stuff were accurate, and that um, the story represented life, was an accurate representation of like how it would play out in real life. Like I think I saw Jurassic Park when I was like 2, and I really like Jurassic Park. It's really really a good movie. It's also a good book if you haven't read it. But um, I didn't I didn't know at the time. Years later, people started coming out and saying that a lot of these dinosaurs probably had feathers, realistically, and not to ruin anything, I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody that hasn't seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. But um, a lot of the dinosaurs in the movie they had more like lizard skin. They Now they were kind of bird-like. Like I remember listening to some of the people that had worked on the movie, and they were saying that they were trying to get the dinosaurs to like kind of move like birds, but they didn't know at the time to put feathers on some of them. A lot of times in video games, uh, the the guns in the video games a lot of times are wrong, because how it works is that they'll get like a 3D modeler to make a 3D model of a specific gun, but the 3D modeler doesn't usually have like an actual model, like a reference of the gun. And so a lot of times the guns like are roughly the right shape or whatever, but like the controls and stuff on the guns are usually wrong in some way. A lot of sword fighting and stuff in video games and movies and TV shows are not really based on anything. They're meant to look good. The choreography is meant to look good, but it doesn't really. It's not based in any kind of like actual historical sword fighting um, techniques or methods or whatever. Um, One funny example is survival shows. A lot of times, um, survival shows are kind of inaccurate. Like Bear Grylls, his show, I forget what it's called or whatever, but it's kind of a meme that a lot of times in his show, he would say, uh, he would drink his own piss because he didn't have any water or whatever, and it kind of became a meme. But a lot of doctors say don't actually do that if you can help it. It's not healthy. And like another example is I was watching YouTube, and there was this guy going through like he was doing like a course on I think they call it CQB. It's like if you have to make sure that a room is safe in a house, and it's possible that there's like a some hostile person um, in the building with you. He was coming around this corner and he was kind of hugging the wall um, to try to see like what was around the corner. And the instructor guy was saying that he was probably just doing that because that's what they do in the movies. And in real life, actually, what you would want to do is come around the corner farther away so that you're a smaller target and get a look around the corner. The reason that they do that in movies is because they'll have a camera and they'll have the actor, the character coming around the corner facing the camera but looking around the corner, so they can get the person's facial expression on film and also see what is around the corner in the shot. You can get it all in the shot. Uh, there's an argument against porn that guys, boys or men or whatever male is watching porn, that guys will get a unrealistic idea of how sex works from watching too much porn, because in porn it's kind of the same way with camera angles, and the actors are, that's their job, you know. um and I guess it's true, but it's the same way with anything, really. um People, like guys, might get kind of a skewed perspective on how sex is in real life, but we kind of all have a skewed perspective. Like we kind of all have a distorted perspective on the world and life and really everything, because the stories and movies and books and all of the entertainment and media that we grow up with in in modern life, uh and still interact with as adults, all these things that we still watch and play as adults, a lot of it's just not researched very well. um and that's nothing against the people that make these, that make all of this entertainment. They, a lot of them either don't know better, or they don't have time, or they were trying but they were missing information or whatever. I don't think anybody's trying to um, cause anybody to have an unrealistic perspective on the world and life, but it's not just porn. It's pretty much everything. I think that that's all I had to say today. Like and subscribe if you like my videos. It'll help me get monetized if I get more subscribers. Um, Ring the bell, share, comment, do whatever you want, if that's your thing. I do like getting comments from people and hearing y'all's thoughts about things, well, reading y'all's thoughts about things. Um, have a good one, and I'll see you guys later.